Fernando.
Hey, hi everyone.
What up? You sound tired.
Not in front of that tree, I guess.
I am present and ready. I've been up for 3 hours as usual, so I am in flow. I was in my head. I was deep in thought as I was dialing the number. So thank you for noticing. And who is that? Who am I speaking with?
It's Tiffany and Jay.
Oh, what up, Tiffany and Jay?
What up?
What is going on, everyone? So it is.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. It is Why Wednesday. I love this. It's way better than Hump Day. I like Why Wednesday. Different vibrational energy when you think of it that way. So we got about 60 seconds. What is happening in the group? What is everyone present to in Why Wednesday? 60-second version as we pass the ball over to Sean, who would like to share.
Tiffany, tell them what we were talking about.
All right, I know I was trying to find my unmute button. Thank you, Jay. So amazing. For people, I only got 60 seconds, so I'm gonna be honorable to the time. Sean, I asked a very vulnerable question yesterday, and Sean laid a bomb on me, which I needed. And I'll just say it again. I have been waiting to do this eco merger for 6 months due to feeling I was inadequate to fulfill the level of mastery that was necessary to do this eco merger. I got out of my head into my heart, and I connected with 3 other people lower than the CEO of this certain company that I've been thinking about for 6 months. And I kid you not, guys, after talking to 3 people and spending about 4 hours on the phone yesterday morning, 100% committed, 100% in formula, 10 minutes before the Q&A call last night, I mean, we're talking maybe 8 hours. The person I've been playing ping pong with messaged me and was like, I've heard what is going on and I have to talk to you. When are you available? So there you go.
That is
huge.
Awesome.
That's awesome,
That is-
Tiffany.
Thank you.
That is proof of the formula at its best. That is incredible. So thank you for completing the story. And as Sean said yesterday on the Q&A, let's share our wins. Let's have like a healthy level of competition. It's not about the magnitude or the size of the win. It's about the momentum of the win. And every single win matters. So before I continue, it is 8:30. Let's check in. Sean, are you here with us? All right, so let's kick it off. Great rising, everyone. Welcome to our Unblinded Self-Mastery Morning Huddle, where we talk every single morning from 8:30 to 9 o'clock about the fun and excitement of exponentially growing your sales. My name's Fernando, and I'm super excited to be here with all of you on Why Wednesday. And Tiffany, thank you so much for your share. I'd like to open it up to some other wins. So would anyone like to share any wins that they are experiencing or in the precipice of experience, or maybe they saw someone else experience? That's a real level of leadership. Would anyone like to share any wins that they're present to on Why Wednesday?
Hi, good morning.
Hi.
It's Orly.
Hey, Orly, what's happening?
I'm back in Florida. UPW was canceled, so I'm back home.
All right, you sound so excited and thrilled.
I've been working hard. I'm creating a pitch because I am bringing my vision forward, and I'm going to create a inspirational cooking show. And I have a fund that I'm applying for this week, so I have to create a 90-second pitch. And it's coming together. I have someone working on my website now. I have a videographer who's approached me, who's helping me put the pitch together, and so many wins. My goal is to help people across the world, at least initially, that are faced with addiction. So through food and through my recipe of how I got through each difficult situation. So trying to develop my platform and move it forward.
Love it. Well, you definitely sound like you are in your Zeus decision mode energy, Orly, and we are rooting for you here at the Unblinded Movement as a possibility for you and for everyone as we have removed ourselves from the word close and agreement formation, and all of you that are in mastery are realizing that it is not only a change of words, even though it is part of it, because words have energy and emotional and energetic transportation. The same with the word pitch is presentation and educate. Our lightning bolt is for illumination. Illumination stands for truth. So when we present the truth. It is much different than pitching. So just something for you to try on. Like we transition from close to agreement formation, pitch to presentation and education, because the goal of integrity-based human influence is to educate and tell the truth of what's happening. And what it sounds like is that you are telling the truth of what is possible. You are telling the truth of possibility and hope for others. And you are doing God's work. So thank you, Orly, for what you are doing in the world.
Yeah, awesome job, Orly. It's Sean.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right on, Mr.
And
Callaghan.
happy White Wednesday. Who's that, Jay? Do we have Jay? Hey, Fernando. How are you? Hey, everybody. Happy White Wednesday. Who's that, Jay? Jumping in?
I just said I would watch Orly's cooking show for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jay. And Orly, awesome stuff. And, you know, just keep innovating, keep working. Balance the four energies, fun, aspirational, goddess, Zeus. Be thinking of all of those. Fun is always critically important. So, Fernando, what is present for you on this Why Wednesday morning?
What is present for me is the thought of continuing to accelerate our modules. I'm excited that we are stepping into module 8 and 9 and getting that ready for our ecosystem. I am present to the power of anything you do has multiple outcomes. I haven't been able to stop thinking about it since you dropped it down on Monday. I've heard you say it multiple times. It's beginning to facilitate as I view it through that prism. Every single thing that we do and that we don't do has impact. That's something that I've always known. And now I'm realizing it's not just impact, it's multiple impacts to multiple people. So viewing it through that prism, one, rises my level of self-mastery. You know, gives me a prism to see the power of process mastery and makes me be grateful for the influence mastery that we're learning here. So that is what I'm present to.
That is awesome. And on this Why Wednesday morning, if anybody has any wins to share, questions to ask, be ready. I'm going to get things rolling for a moment and then go from there. What I want to focus on initially is the disruptive power of our communication, and realizing that when you're communicating with other people, so often they're hearing you through the prism of I know. And it's not just through a prism of I know, like about information you're sharing, but I know who you are, what you do. You are somebody who sells insurance. Like, I know what that is. I understand. You're somebody that is engaged in accounting services. I know, I get it, I understand. And it is your outcome when you reach this space of unique identity, and even prior to, when you're asking people questions, building a relationship, or even right at the beginning. And so last night, I was asked a question, and I mentioned this a bit on the module, the Q&A for the program last night. At some point, I was introduced as a business coach at dinner last night. And it was like, oh yeah, Sean's, you know, a business coach, and over here we have Dan, and I said in that moment, now it was a calculated decision, his relationship had been built a little bit. I said, and I was polite because I was going to vary my energies dramatically. And I'm like, would it be okay if I just jumped in for a second? And then I began to roll through an insane contrast energy where I said, how about we play a game? And I mentioned this again last night, but this gives you an example of disruption, because I think that my ability to reveal with integrity, like the reality of what is, might be higher than anybody's in the world. Might be. And I'd bet on it. So why don't we play a game right now and sell anything at the table? In fact, I'll be Jim and sell what Jim sells. And we can play this game. And people are kind of looking. I'm like, come on. And like I varied because people are getting a little bit confused. Maybe 8 people at the table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 people. So I said, it's fun. Like, aren't games fun? So I shifted into fun energy. Like, everybody relax, it's fun. So I shifted energy to make everybody calm. And then I went roaringly through a role play. And it was explaining everything I was doing in sequence at speed. And I could feel the disruptive energy. I'm like, and I was checking in. I'm like, so that's of course what a business coach could do, right? Of course that's what a business coach could do. So it's creating disruptive, insane contrast. Now, you may be thinking right now, well, I can't do that. And I don't know that you can't do that at all. When you approach disruption, illumination, that's why we have a lightning bolt in this program. When you bring unique information, content, aspects of yourself to the conversation, and it could also be done not only through what you say, an example you give, or perhaps the questions you ask. Like, for example, it might be, hey, you just explain to me, what do you think that a chiropractor does? And people are going to really struggle. They adjust your back. It's fine. As you bring out the things the other person doesn't know, and you highlight, because remember, the lightning bolt also equals illumination, means also loss of ignorance. So when you highlight the ignorance of the situation, and ignorance simply means a lack of knowing or understanding, when you highlight those things, you begin to create disruption. But again, doing it in rapport, not ego, not defensiveness. You go, well, that sounds like there's a lot of ego that was going on there last night. There wasn't. It was an insane commitment to reveal the truth and reality of who we were and what was happening. So the people that we're dealing with at this, huge company, which were incredibly talented and smart people, understood, lost their ignorance for what was actually happening. And so that's what a disruption is all about. And when we hit the role plays tomorrow night, anybody feel free to begin to play in the space of disruption. So we can illustrate those where you're being diminished, you're facing I know itis related to your unique identity or your ability to come in as a speaker. Because same thing, you might be saying, hey, let's present and create an educational platform. Okay, I know. So you'll come in and speak, and you'll talk a little bit about, let's say, legal services. I'll come in and talk, and it's like, no, that's not what we're going to do. We're not just going to, and I had a similar disruption yesterday when folks there were talking about an educational platform. And, okay, this is what we do, and the accountant stands up and does this. The financial services person stands up and does that. Your team showing, they're lawyers, they'll stand up and do this. And it was like, well, I have a different perspective. And again, I was hitting with disruption, and the person on the other side initially had no idea how to process what I was saying or doing, because people, everybody, you, me, all of us, come from a positioning often of being locked in to a track, like playing a track of what we think or hearing what we think is going to be said. That's the dangers, by the way, of settling into listening to the media, settling and listening to a political party, not challenging our own ideas about anything that we do in our functioning for business growth and development, or our patterns of thinking about things. When we begin to exist in tracks of thinking, which we have to at some level, to be able to function. However, the unexamined thought process, like, hey, yeah, of course, gambling at this level is okay. Like, of course, cheating on my spouse is okay. Like, of course, closing people, withholding information, facts, like, of course that's okay. It's just like what you do. It's what people do. Having unexamined belief structures leads to really dysfunctional, suboptimal behavior. And so, yeah, that's like what's present for me on this Why Wednesday. And it's also completely inconsistent with our why. We don't get to our ultimate legacy. We don't satisfy our why. We don't create the destiny that we are committed and capable of creating when we're existing in conditioned patterns of our own framework or in somebody else's framework. So when you hear us say never exist in somebody else's frame, that means, oh, I know what Mary is. I know who she is. I know what she does. I know what she's all about. Mary never wants to be stepping into somebody else's frame of existence. And that's different than saying, hey, let me hear out what might be a criticism, a critique, some thoughts of somebody else, because we don't want to be delusional and not exist and hear somebody else's reality. At the same time, we don't want to exist in their frame as though it's absolute truth. And that happened for me yesterday also. So all these things are just real-time occurrences where somebody's like, hey, I want to share a couple of things about this person that are connected with my perspective and the perspective of others. And whenever you start hearing about the perspective of others, that somebody is promoting or conveying, that's also an incredibly challenging dynamic, because that's called getting third-partied. And we don't want to third-party other people. We're going to be like, oh, so listen, this is what everybody thinks about you, and it's what everybody thinks about so-and-so. Similarly, when we begin to hear those things, we want to start to ask, like, who and what exactly did they say and what exactly occurred? Because as we begin to repeat the thoughts of others, like the game of telephone, which I've played in seminars many times, the outcome, even when you go through 3 or 4 people repeating something, immediately becomes distorted, let alone when you go through 5, 8, 10 people, the distortions become absolutely incredible and the meaning completely changes. So we're talking about right now illumination, our skill set of disruption, revealing truth, not existing in somebody else's frame, and us creating the frame in a healthy way, though. We're hearing genuine feedback and filtering it through a prism of maximization and mastery. So that said, does anybody have any wins they want to share, questions, challenges, anything that is present for you on this Why Wednesday? Who's got something? What's happening out there?
Okay, question.
Yeah,
I got a
who's this?
question. Hey, it's Tiffany Armstrong. How are you?
Hey, Tiffany, what's cooking? Yeah, what's happening? Awesome.
Amazing things. I already shared my win before you were on, so I don't want to waste people's time. And I know there's someone else that wants to talk, so I'm going to be super quick. So what you were just saying, I was 100% present to, and my question to you is fear-based. So like, what if we go and we do this disruption, right? And it just doesn't work. Like, like, where do you go from there? I mean, and I don't even know what doesn't work, what that looks like, but like, that's just what's present to me when I hear you saying this.
Okay, so let's role play that real quick. So what do you want me to presume that I know about that you're doing and limit you?
Okay,
formula. What frame do you want me to create? What?
Formula. Like, I'm, I don't even want to say attempting because that's a limiting word. I am talking about formula and trying to get somebody,
all right.
involved.
What's it, ready? Yeah, Tiffany, got it. I got it. I understand.
Right.
So
Right.
You're talking about like a coaching program or some kind of thing like that. Like, I get it. Like, I've heard about a lot of those things, and I understand. So I'm just super busy, and like I'm not really up for some coaching program or sales program right now or hearing about that. So, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, coaching program. What is a coaching program to you?
Something to help you produce some better results in your life. Yeah, like something to help you, like.
Yeah. So what does better results look like for you?
You know what, Tiffany? Let's jump out of roll for a second. Like, this is coming up for me.
Okay.
I might go with something like, so let me ask you this. What's your formula?
Oh, okay.
Just say, yeah, like, Tom, like, what's your formula?
All right, and this person
I would say it in a Zeus with empathy, but just like, yeah, like, what's your formula? It's very direct. So I'm just super curious, like, what's your formula? Like
I'm
sort
super
of
curious. What's your formula?
Approaching like teacher voice, voice, like actually more like master, like mastery voice, like master, like Yoda voice, like teacher of martial arts at the highest level, moving towards their voice, like Mr. Miyagi voice from Karate Kid. Okay. So what's your formula? Like total curiosity and certainty, like not like you don't have an attachment to convincing them, but you have absolute certainty on where this is all going and what the truth is, and they just don't know it yet. Like Daniel San was like, you don't understand, like you don't know what's going on. Like these kids, they can't deal with anything. He's like like that. Like, what do you want? Is that resonating? So part of it is your certainty and the identity of who you're being in the communication. Does that make sense, Tiffany?
Yes. Huge.
Okay, and then we'll do like one more 30 seconds more of this, and this could be a good role play as well. So
Okay.
good. So drop in. So
like,
ask me, what's my formula?
okay, so, like, what's your formula?
And uncertainty begins. I work hard. I care about people, and I just do the right thing. That's my formula. And then I might come in, so we go faster, Tiffany. I might drop in with a micro distinction of saying, like, do you believe in innovation? Like, do you believe innovation exists in the world? Did you hear that? Right? Because
Yeah,
we're going
that
to a
hit
higher
me.
vibrational space. Yeah, because that resonates with you. I can feel it.
Right.
And saying something like, so at one point, like, we didn't have a light bulb, right, Tom? And then what happened next? And at one point, we didn't have a telephone. And then what happened? And then what happened? And then what happened? Like, at one point, people didn't have any clue how to speak. Like, they just made, like, signs to each other. They pointed at things. So what's your model? Like, at one point, people pointed at things. And then one day, somebody invented, like, words, and people started talking. So what's your model of going from hello to yes? Like, one day, people pointed to go from hello to yes. What do? And is it possible that there's massive innovations that you're not connected to that are diluting the results you're producing? Like, you getting everything you want, your money, time, and magic? It would sound something like that, to begin to create a disruption. Is that at all supportive or no?
Oh, 100%. 100,000
Okay, and then if it doesn't
percent.
work,
Thank you.
and then it could be, it's hard to imagine it not working.
Right.
Because as you ask questions of people, they're going to stumble and struggle for an answer. And that's what I did last night. And if Rob Gill or Dan Geltrude are on, I'd love for them to jump in, or Tom Filatico, even any of the three, and just explain. I mean, these were insanely smart and talented people. And they were hit with a lightning bolt. And I guarantee you the number one subject being talked about at that corporation today, from the CEO to the CFO, the COO, across the board, is some of the things that they experienced yesterday. 100%, because they were like, they didn't know what hit them. So your skill set in creating disruption is something to work on. So if Tiffany's like, well, what if it doesn't work? Well, ask a question and confront and make them explain and improve this skill set for all of you, because your ability to disrupt people's knowingness is a critical piece of this puzzle. So thank you, Tiffany. Great job.
100%. Thank you, guys.
Anybody else have something they want to share, win, ask, anything? I'll give it a 3, 2, 1 countdown. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, great job. Remember, a lot of mornings we have a little bit of hangover after the huddle and getting questions answered. Be bringing your wins, be bringing your shares, your accelerations, regardless of what they are. Massive value to contribute to the ecosystem. With that said, Jared, are you present this morning? And if so, what is present for you?
Sean?
Sorry. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Kate.
Okay, let's jump in real quick. Who is that?
Hi, Sean. This is Kate Nova. I wanted to jump on really quick. I apologize.
Yeah, Kate. Awesome. Thank you. What's happening?
Hi. Good morning. I'm at work, and that's why I couldn't unmute myself earlier.
Yeah, and where are you calling from, Kate?
I'm in New York.
Oh, okay. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, very close by New York, and working at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center.
Wow.
The one thing I wanted to share from yesterday is, and I'm not sure if Jay had an opportunity to share it earlier. I logged in a little bit late, but yesterday he asked a great question. What do you do when you're not connecting with somebody, like on an energetic level? And the micro distinction that has been really helpful to me personally is usually when you're coming from a heart place to connect with another person, but they're just not connecting no matter what you do or say, it's usually because they're in their headspace. And
yeah, Kate,
that's what's creating the disconnect.
Yeah, for sure. And so what we may have to do is get into our headspace and join them there, still in our heart, but like move into our sort of Zeus energy, decision making, commitment mode, move with them, not overpower them, like move with them. So last night, when somebody was very much, in their head and revealing all the great things and brilliance that they were doing in the space of understanding the market and trading, it was like, that's phenomenal. And you know how you're sharing all of that? We'll call him John, like John. You have unique distinctions that are powerful that you studied for a lifetime in that space that you just revealed. And I want to acknowledge that. Blew my mind. Incredibly impressive. And what if those same numbers affect how much your company sells? Like, you believe in numbers, right, John? Yeah. So you're committed to numbers. It's like the foundation of your life. So what if there's a number and a percentage, not just for the idea of how to do something, like, hey, accountants and financial services providers should work together with lawyers. Like, yeah, of course. But what if there's a distinction and one person would even convince themselves and talk to any accountants, and somebody else will talk to 100. That's a number differential. Would you agree, John? Any other thoughts, John, on where other number differentials might be in the continuum? And it was like, in that moment, Kate, everyone, his certainty started to evaporate. Like, what's the next number that might matter, John? What do you think? And when you start asking questions to smart people and people who like really are, let's say, in their head, like you said, Kate, it begins to create a massive disruption. And so the next question I had was, so no thoughts? Well, not really. Take a guess. And when you stay committed to it, the uncertainty begins to rise so dramatically, and their listening begins to open. So, and then especially if you can deliver. I delivered 7 steps in the continuum with absolute certainty, one at a time, and said, any idea the next one? But that would matter. And what kind of percentage difference would that create? And there is a difference between people, right? Because you have like 20,000 agents, and probably 19,000 of them never even talk to an accountant. Is that true? So 19,000 people not doing what you're saying, and 1,000 doing it. And 1,000, tell me if my numbers are wrong, Sean. What would it look like if you impacted 500 out of the other 19,000? And Kate, what do you think the impact was on John?
Tremendous.
Crazy. Yes, tremendous, crazy, insane. So thank you. And I was in my heart. You are right, but I went into head math space. And then brought it back to heart and why it matters. So this matters because 19,000 of the lives that work with you are not getting what they truly want out of the relationship they have with you. And that's on them, and it's on you. It's on both. We have an opportunity to take responsibility for that, right, John? And it was a complete shift in like a minute and a half in his listening. Are we square, Kate? Good? Awesome. So, yeah, Jared, what's present for you, brother, on this Wine Wednesday?
Hello, everybody. What's present to me is I'm back in my normal setup, which is nice. I do like to travel, but it's very nice to come back and get things done. We have extraordinary energy inside of the Nerve Center, creating really tight processes around everything. And I love when we're in that stage because that leads to acceleration. So what's present to me is we came off of, we've talked about this now for a few days, but really just a magical experience within the chiropractic profession, and things are already happening as a result of it. So a number of the leaders who are present are scheduling calls this week to take the relationship to the next level, because that's how excited they are about what this will mean for them, for the entire profession, and ultimately for the world too. So that is what it looks like. And every one of you can go out there and create relationships like that. You can galvanize energy just like what we did. And we talked about this briefly yesterday when it came to having not just one relationship you're working on, but like as Sean said, have 100 of them, right? And Tiffany, that was a great access point for everybody when you asked that question. What's present to me is we are in the hundreds of relationships like this and pushing to the thousands. because what we're doing together, what we are co-creating here, as in every one of you, as in the Unblinded team, the world must know about it, because I absolutely believe that what Unblinded stands to do is end suffering, because the single place where the most suffering exists is with the inability to take somebody from hello to yes when you know they're better with you than without you. So that's what's present to me. Excited to knock some major tasks out today. And then I will be present tomorrow at the Nerve Center for some face-to-face time with everybody. Back to you, Sean.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, so final, lack of attachment to outcomes. So I had this whole meeting with all these guys, and they're having a very meaningful event, 1,000 people, leaders in their company in May, and we're having a conversation about our speaking. And I'm like, listen, and I mean this in total love. I'm like, if you guys don't get this by now, and you're not open to have us come and speak in May, somebody else is going to. That's in your space, and I'm going to deal with them. And, you know, we're looking for leaders, vertical leaders, and we've had a couple of people say yes and then stall a little bit. And we're talking to you. We're only talking to you because other people have stalled, and we will be talking to other people. So this isn't going to be a long conversation of like, do you get it or not? Like, we're doing this, and we want to do it with you guys. We love the culture, love the energy, so grateful for everything that you've done. However, it's going to be like a yay or nay, and we need to know. So lack of attachment to outcome, that's indispensable element of integrity-based scarcity. That's what it looks like. That's what it sounds like. Happy Why Wednesday to all. Immensely grateful for everything that you're doing out there. I want to give a special shout out to Rob Gill for being source on an incredible couple of days, as well as Dan Geltrude, Tom Filatico for their contributions. Everybody is rocking and making things happen. Have an awesome and outstanding and amazing day. Immensely appreciative. Thank you.